Mr Speaker, I just want to start by thanking the Minister and the opposition spokesman for their complimentary remarks towards the process that we went through. The Select Committee had a very simple task, in my view, despite the complexity of the legislation, and that was to find a way forward to enable the growth of aquaculture in New Zealand, to create a piece of legislation that provided the framework for an enabling situation where this industry could start to grow. As part of our research, Mr Speaker, we, as a Select Committee, bidded for and won a parliamentary trip to South Australia, where we were able to examine what had happened there. And what surprised me in that trip was the fact that the South Australian economy is now 1/3 provided for by the export or development and processing of aquaculture, which didn't exist about 15 years ago. A large number of the people that have invested, hundreds of millions of dollars in some cases, but certainly large sums in individuals' cases, a large percentage of that IP and that investment actually was made by ex-New Zealanders who had found the process in New Zealand frustrating and had moved to South Australia so that they could make progress with the industry they love there. So the Select Committee, Mr Speaker, in going through the process, received the bill on the 16th of November 2010. The closing date for submissions was the 11th of February 2011. We received and considered our 120 submissions from a wide sector of the industry, some pan-industry groups and some individuals alike, plus those that are other, interested parties, stakeholders in the use of coastal and marine areas and waterways. Not everyone was happy with the notion of providing an opportunity for aquaculture to grow. In fact, some, I would suggest, may have submitted that it's a blight on society and we should stop it at all costs. The Select Committee didn't agree with that view, but in considering their view, we certainly have played a big role in considering the environmental and local government concerns and how to find a way forward. So this industry itself believes that it can, and I believe that they're right, grow to at least a $1 billion industry by 2025. As the previous speaker said, the country desperately needs growth in export industries. If we look at what's happening internationally, Mr Speaker, the demand for high-quality protein foods around the world, with a growing world population from a very well-managed and considered environmental production system, is the space to be. And there are only 3 areas where New Zealand can actually produce those high-quality proteins. Fish is one, meat is another, and dairy products is the third. So I'm sure this, proposal or this piece of legislation going forward is going to bring about an opportunity for a large sector of the economy to grow. Hopefully it will remove some of the roadblocks that have stymied the industry so far. The previous speaker talked about the undue adverse effects. I think, Mr Speaker, this is probably the most complex part of the bill, and probably the one that we struggled the most with, trying to strike a balance with development and unforeseen, you might say, consequences in regard to what might happen or might not happen in terms of the environment is always a judgment call. There will be those that will argue, of course, that we went too far in enabling aquaculture to develop, and others will say we didn't go far enough. In that regard, Mr Speaker, I think the Select Committee has put its best foot forward, and I have to suggest that I am very, very confident that what we have achieved will allow a far better framework for the industry to work within and development to take place. Mr Speaker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I'm pleased to take a call on this Aquaculture Legislation Amendment Bill. As a member of the Primary Production Select Committee, and I want to thank the member who's just taken a seat, Shane Ardern, for the